The Home Depot has free carpet installation for any carpet purchase over $699. Free installation, as in no hidden fees for moving furniture, ripping out old carpet, carpeting stairs. Fees other places charge for their free carpet installation, we don't. For carpet installation that really is free, start with carpet from the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid on carpet priced $1 or more per square foot. Specialty items may be priced separately. License numbers available at homedepot.com/license numbers.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing. Black Wolf Editorial Services. We strive offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mental style. We also offer assisted bio for Blackers, nurturing your writing into. For a full list of services, visit black.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Hello, America. This is Rick Robinson. We're just about 60 seconds away from the beginning of the America Off the Rails show. I want to remind you guys there's been a bit of a programming change up. Now on Thursday nights, we are going to have a special guest contributor. You may have heard the interview we did with him last week. He's going to go by his Twitter handle, which is @SocialClaude. He'll be joining us tomorrow night. Now, tonight, because I don't have much of a voice, I have a guest on with me tonight. You guys know we don't do those that often. But this one happens to be a friend of the show, Mr. Dale Bellis from Liberty HealthShare. He'll be joining us just after the intro. So I want you guys to give me just a second to get a few things ticked off, get it started. We'll be right back here in, well, actually, I guess after the monologue, not the intro. But we'll be back here in just about 60 seconds. Stay tuned. Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty HealthShare. Liberty HealthShare is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty HealthShare is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty HealthShare and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host. Favorite host.
You know this freedom is anything but free. What we have here depends on those who will fight for what they believe. When we stand together, there's nothing that we can achieve. This nation of people standing as one in the name of liberty.
All right, good evening, America. This is Rick Robinson, host of the America Off the Rails Show. We are live right now on KLRNradio.com, where we do this thing every Monday through Thursday night. I know. Some of you are yelling at me right now because you're like, you weren't on Monday, you did a replay, and you didn't do anything at all last night. Okay, guys, it's that time of year again. I'm fighting the crud, and my voice is terrible, and everything that I do, other than when I can occasionally find times to pen an article, which are sadly now few and far between, involves me talking, so I had to rest the pipes, because right now, this pays a bill, not the bills, so I had to rest it for the day job. So, yes, we took last night off. It was also because there was a football game. It ran later than usual. Even if I'd have tried to come home and get things done, there would have been, tons of noise and everything else. But that's okay, because we're back. We're live, and here in just about a minute or so, we're going to have Dale Bellis, the Executive Director of Liberty HealthShare. Now, you guys may have noticed we've been having him on a lot lately, but if you haven't noticed, the government hasn't really been keeping their promises about what they said they were going to do. Because, remember, they said, hey, give us the House, we'll fix Obamacare. We did that, gave it to the Republicans, they didn't do it. They said, you know what, well, now we kind of need the Senate to get it done too, so give us the House and the Senate, and then we promise we'll take care of Obamacare. So we gave them the House and the Senate. Still haven't really done anything with Obamacare. So then they said, hey, we tried. See, you've seen us. We passed it. We've put it on his desk 60 plus times. He's never signed it. So we need the White House too. Well, guess what? Now they've had the White House for rounding the corner towards a year. I mean, we're not quite there yet, but we're getting close. And they still really haven't managed to do anything. And I know. Last Thursday's discussion with Social Claude, we were all over the executive order. And I get it. Some of you guys are okay with it because he's using executive orders to get rid of other executive orders. That much I really don't necessarily have a problem with because, there has to be something that you can do to undo them. But this idea that he suddenly has that he's going to be able to do insurance across state lines by executive order, that flies in as far as am concerned, the face of everything the Constitution stands for. But we will probably get into that more on maybe Monday's show, because I do plan on hopefully doing a full week next week. But for now, we've got to get the first break out of the way so I can bring my guest on, who's waiting in the wings, because he's going to start chomping at the bit for a second and be like, hey, I only told you I could be on for 20 minutes. You're burning my time here. All right, so anyway, without further ado, we're going to take the first break of the night. We'll be back with my guest, Dale Bellis, here in just 1 second. So don't you go away.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take it out to the streets. That's where we can meet. You bring your sticks, I'll bring gauges. Just don't know what you
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
Welcome back, folks. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We're coming to you live right now from KLRNradio.com. I'm joined this evening by Dale Bellis, the Executive Director of Liberty HealthShare, who is actually a friend of the show, who's coming on for the first time with us. So I want to take a moment to make sure everybody gives him a really warm welcome. Good evening, Dale. How are you?
Rick, I'm doing wonderfully well. Thank you so much for the invitation. Delighted to be with you.
It is my pleasure to have you here. This is something we've been trying to get organized with for the last couple of weeks, and On my end, we keep dropping the ball, so I want to thank you for your patience. All right, so before we really get started into this, I want to take a moment because there may be folks out there that don't really necessarily know what Liberty Health Share is. Although we've been running the ad now for a bit, there's probably some people with some questions. I'd like to kind of start from the beginning. Why don't you let folks know kind of the idea behind Liberty Health Share, what your role is there, etc.?
Sure. Liberty Health Share is a nationwide nonprofit association of like-minded men and women of faith and values who focus around a common cause, and that's paying for each other's medical bills. And we do that without the aid of an insurance company or the government. And it really comes from an age-old tradition that people have engaged in for generations, really, particularly in small communities and local churches and other places where they just follow neighborly values. If somebody has a need, somebody is ill or sick or has a bill, they all rally around and help that person with that particular matter. And that's the tradition that we've launched as a solution, literally, for the healthcare crisis. So it comes from that Christian tradition, as well as making it now available for any and all who wish to join us. We're a relaunch, a reorganization of an existing healthcare sharing ministry that began in 1995, and we relaunched according to the terms of the Affordable Care Act, and are now growing immensely because of the interest in this area of really taking an individual step to reform our individual health care and not rely on the government to do it.
Well, that seems to be a really good point for some folks is at this point we want, especially the listeners to this show, they want the government out of their lives as much as possible. So it sounds like what you guys are providing is an alternative to the debacle that I personally call the Unaffordable Care Act, because it's done nothing to make healthcare affordable. It also seems like you guys have an interesting model, because it almost sounds like you've taken the whole, small town mentality and basically multiplied it by 1,000. So now basically if people have a need, they have a place to go to get that need met, which is an amazing concept. Now I have a question, and this is not something that we talked about beforehand, but with the election of Trump, did you guys see anything possibly changing with your model? Were you afraid that maybe if he did everything that he's promised he's going to do, that it may impact you? Because I got to say, right now, you guys are still sitting pretty good, because the Affordable Care Act is still a monster. It's still about to implode on itself. So it seems like you guys have got yourself a nice little spot picked out. I'm just kind of curious to see if you think the Trump administration as it progresses may or may not impact that, or have you guys given any thought to that?
We certainly have given thought to it. Healthcare sharing existed long before the Affordable Care Act. We thankfully experience an exemption from the ACA that is recognized. Healthcare sharing ministries and its members are not subject to the fines or the mandates of the ACA, and we can go into that in more detail if you'd like. But what we've seen out of Congress at this point is really, Rick, they're talking about the wrong subject in our estimation. They're talking about making health insurance affordable as opposed to making medical care affordable. And those are two separate topics. If we were focused on what are the reasons for the rising costs in medical care and how do we gain the most available access to medical care, we'd solve that issue relatively quickly. What they're talking about is making health insurance available. And it's talking about the symptoms and not the cause or the disease. And so the underlying question really is, how do we make healthcare affordable and accessible? And that's what we at Liberty Health Share have been focused on. And we're an alternative means for meeting the costs of our medical care.
All right, so I want to cover 2 points that you brought up in there. First of all, the fact that you had mentioned that your group and groups like yours are exempt. I actually wasn't aware that an exemption like that existed, so that's good to know. So basically, just to clarify, you're stating that folks that are actually a part of Liberty Health Share are not being held accountable for the mandates and things like that. Is that correct?
Pardon me, that's correct. Whenever the Affordable Care Act was passed in 2010, they included a section within the ACA that provided a exemption for members of healthcare sharing ministries. And that just simply means we help each other. And we are ethically and religiously motivated to do so. And we have a set of shared beliefs. People can check that out on our website, libertyhealthshare.org. That's one of the qualifications for being a healthcare sharing ministry. But there are 5 of them in the ACA, so that the members of a recognized healthcare sharing ministry, of which we're one, are then exempt from both the fines for not having insurance, because we are not insurance and don't even want to be, members are exempt from the fine, and secondly, are exempt from the mandates of the Affordable Care Act. That's also critically important because we decide among and between ourselves as to the kinds of bills we'll participate in and share in. We don't share in costs and expenses associated with things that would violate our conscience or closely held belief. We don't pay for people's abortions, as an example, because our members have decided we don't want our dollars to go towards those things. That would violate our conscience. So we're not subject to those mandates. We're all familiar with the court cases, by Hobby Lobby or, by Conestoga Wagon or the Little Sisters of the Poor. We don't face that, gratefully, because we're exempt from those mandates.
That's actually really, really good to know. I also like the fact that you guys have the ability, because of those exemptions, to be able to put your money towards the healthcare stuff that your members' morals align with. Because I have to say, one of the things that has annoyed me about the ACA is the fact that me, as a 44-year-old married man, am paying for other people's birth control. I don't have any interest in birth control. My wife and I take care of that on our own. We have children. We have grandchildren. We're done with that. I don't need to pay for birth control anymore. Why are you making me? One last point, and then it's time for us to get a break in. I'm assuming you're staying for the next segment after the break. Is that correct?
I'd be delighted to, Rick. Thank you for the invitation to do so.
Not a problem. All right, so one last point, and then we'll take the break. I want to say thank you for finally saying something that I've been saying now for the last 7 years, and now 7+ years, because every time Congress starts talking about affordable health care and they talk about the little piece of paper that says that you have health insurance, that drives me crazy. Because just because you have insurance, it doesn't mean that you actually have access to health care. I know this for a fact because before the Affordable Care took effect, I had 2 forms of insurance. I now have one, and it sucks. And we need to stop focusing on insurance. We need to focus on healthcare. There are smart ways to get healthcare costs under control, and it seems like you guys and the product that you're offering seems like they might be one of them. All right, so at this point, we're going to have to take a really quick break, folks. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We'll be back in just a few minutes with my guest, the Executive Director from Liberty HealthShare, and we'll be back with you before you know it. Stay tuned.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $3 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
All right, folks, welcome back. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson, and again, I have very special guest and friend of the show, Mr. Dale Bellis, with us, the executive director of Liberty HealthShare. Dale and I were actually talking during the break, and, well, as you guys know, within the last few days, there's been some interesting developments with healthcare. The good news is about Liberty HealthShare, they're actually taking care of that problem, even though the government seems to not really know what they're going to do with it. So, Dale, why don't you go ahead and talk to folks a little bit about what it is that Liberty HealthShare actually does as far as these crazy government programs and all the changes that are going on?
Yeah, my observation has been that really healthcare and its complexities have really confounded the leadership of America, our legislators, and those we put in elective positions. They just don't seem to be able to find the solution that really meets the need. And the large reason behind that is there has developed a mentality that is being perpetuated in every attempt whenever healthcare is addressed. And that is that the federal government has a role in determining how we consume healthcare or how we pay for it. And that mentality has never been with us before until 2010. And Liberty HealthShare is simply an opportunity for individual Americans to engage in their own individual healthcare reform and abandon health insurance and instead utilize a pattern and a program for meeting healthcare costs that's been in place literally for generations. We utilize principles that Christians have observed for decades of care and support and assistance to one another. It's the way America works. Rick, think about what we've just seen in terms of hurricanes and storms that have slammed into Houston or into Florida. Neighbors suddenly pour out of their houses to help their neighbors that are stressed or stranded or in need. And we see America rise to the occasion with volunteers flooding in and faith groups assisting in those times of distress and disaster. That's really the DNA of America. We've simply turned that for healthcare. It's member helping member, neighbor helping neighbor, paying each other's medical bills and assisting on a person-to-person basis.
You know, that's a great way to put it, because you guys really have kind of gotten back to basics. And to me, that seems like something that we've lost when the government started trying to pick up all the pieces and insert themselves into pretty much every aspect of our lives. We seem to have kind of lost, in most cases, the neighbor helping neighbor aspect. Because another thing, you know, as a Christian, you'll understand this too. We are relational people. We are actually supposed to be building relationships, both with our neighbors, our friends, our families, our Savior. Are God all of the above? But when you start letting the government get into the middle of all that stuff, and well, you don't have to worry about that because now we're going to take care of it for you. You're going to have this health care. We're going to get it fixed for you. You're going to have this retirement program. We're going to get that fixed up for you. What I've noticed, and again, I'm not really that old, but what I've noticed is as I've become more and more of an adult and the government seems to be getting more and more involved in everything, it's like everyone pulls back. Nobody communicates anymore. I think that's one of the things that first took me aback when you and I first started talking about Liberty HealthShare, is even though it's in the electronic age, you guys communicate with each other. You lift each other up. You come together when people need prayer. It's not just about money and it's not just about healthcare. It's about building and maintaining a relationship. And that's what we seem to be losing when the government continues to insinuate its way into everything. And that's why I was so diametrically opposed to all of this Obamacare stuff, was because I've already seen what happens when the government gets in the middle of something. We now have all of these government programs that in a lot of ways have stopped people from giving to charities to make sure that their neighbors are okay, or donating their own time. Well, why do I need to do that? Because the government gets my tax money and they use it for the poor people, so why do I need to go give time at the homeless shelter down the street? It's not just about the money. It's about you feeling better about yourself because you're doing something to help your fellow man. That is something else that you guys have tapped back into, and I think it's one reason why you guys have been really successful. And I'm sorry, you're supposed to be the guest, so I really didn't mean to talk that much. But
I couldn't have said it more. It's really premised, Liberty HealthShare. I couldn't have said it better. Liberty HealthShare is premised on really two key principles. One is that God has placed us here on earth not to live as an island, but to be engaged in relationship with others, so that I use my time and talents and abilities and resources to assist another person whenever they're in need. If you're the kind of person that drops money in the Salvation Army bucket, or assists a homeless person, or visits the homeless shelter, that's really the impulse that we capture, because it's person helping person, because we believe God's placed us here on earth for that mission. The second principle is that we're creatures of God. Our bodies are temples. We have an obligation to care for and be aware of our health. And so we each take responsibility for the care of our health in a cost-conscious community, and just live out that support and care for one another.
No, and again, that's a perfect example of everything that you guys do, because it's something that we seem to be losing track of in this society. We don't really have relationships anymore. I mean, my wife and I were just talking about that because my wife and I are actually, we just got involved in a new church. There's a new church that's just opened around here. We've started donating some of our time over there because we agree with what they're doing. But it's the same kind of thing, because they were talking about it in some of their first messages. They've only done like 4 services now. Anytime you turn around anymore, you don't really talk to your kids anymore. They're usually somebody's got a phone up to their nose, or they're watching TV, or they're doing something else. We're missing so many relational transactions anymore. And it's happening everywhere. It's not just in the family. It's everywhere, because nobody feels the need to really do anything anymore, because the government stepped in and said, well, we're going to take care of it so you don't have to. And we lose so much because that is built into our DNA. We were made for service. And when we don't do that, we lose something. And the older I get, the more that seems to sink in. It never made sense to me when people that were about my age now were saying that type of stuff to me when I was younger, because I didn't get it. But I get it now.
And so here's an opportunity for people to meet a significant need. It's a part of our national conversation in terms of healthcare, but to do it on a relational basis, so that every month I set aside, it's for a single, it's $199, for a couple, it's $299, for a family, it's $449. We don't count more than 3 for a family, so mom, dad, and all kids. You set that money aside in a secure online account. We call it a share box, and based upon our technology, our online proprietary software, it matches my share amount literally to another person who has a medical bill or an expense. And I see my money transparently and openly move from my ShareBox account to theirs. I can message them with cheer, encouragement, prayer at that time. And we ask a sufficient number of members to crowdfund
that particular receiving member with expense. And then we cut the checks directly to the hospitals and doctors out of that receiving member's account. And in this way, we're sharing $16 to $18 million every month at our current membership size and growing monthly.
You know, it amazes me every time you... All right, so because I got a little long-winded earlier, we are going to have to take a really quick break. Dale, I'm assuming you want to hang around for at least a few more minutes, kind of wrap things up, give out your information, that type of stuff?
Happy to do it.
All right, we'll be right back here in just about... this break's about 2 minutes. We'll be right back.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take
Everyone
it out
loves
to the
liberty.
streets.
Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
right, folks, welcome back. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. I hope you guys have been enjoying the conversation that Dale and I have had. And Dale, I apologize. Usually I don't talk so much when I have a guest, but you got me kind of fired up today. So we're going to give you an extra.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to draw it out of you, my friend.
Well, I mean, I get fired up enough when I don't have guests, but I have a habit of trying to make sure that the guests get the floor when they're on. But you got me fired up. So since we went long on the last segment and you didn't really get a chance to dive in too much, we've gone over kind of the financial stuff. We've talked about that amazing number. I still get floored every time you mention $18 million a year. Helping people with that kind of money and that kind of reach just amazes me. But why don't you go ahead, and is there anything else that you want to touch on and before we start wrapping things up for you? And make sure you give out your website and any contact information you want to, that type of stuff too.
Sure. In terms of the numbers, this is what's remarkable to me about healthcare in America today, Rick, is that our members are billed because of their health care access and with hospitals, doctors, etc. And yet we're able to secure on their behalf significant and deep discounts in the marketplace. And so far this year, we have shared member to member $110 million in the course of the year. And based upon the last months of this year, we will be in the $180 million for the year in terms of the amount shared. Our average is sharing 40%. Send out a bill that they're willing to have settled for, in our case, self-pay patients, and receive 40% of 40 cents on the dollar that they bill. And so it really is a way in which we are able to really show that there is power, economic power, in individual self-pay patients seeking out the best prices, the cash price for a particular service, and then, of course, having a community to meet and share those needs. So I think it's rather remarkable that we're able to have that kind of influence in the market.
That is amazing. There are two ways that I take that. One, it's great that you guys are such a powerful group that you can come in and they'll actually decide, because you're basically giving them cash payments, that they'll take less. It also reminds me that one of the things that I'd really hope to see under this administration, and I'm just not sure we're ever going to get there, one of the easiest ways to reform medical care in this country, and I'm not talking about insurance, I'm actually talking about medical care, is open pricing.
Right.
I mean, when's the last time you sat down to dinner, ordered a 3-course meal, had no idea what you were paying for, and somebody brought you a $4,000 bill by the time? That doesn't happen anywhere but medical care.
Nowhere else. And match that then with the reality as we are with Liberty Health Share, our status, we are all self-pay patients. It's our money at stake. And so the motivation to utilize those kinds of transparent pricing alternatives to get the best price and ask for that cash value price, we are highly motivated to do it because it's our money at stake as well as the pockets of our fellow members.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be a good driving factor when you realize, it's your money that you're bargaining. I mean, and I think that's, again, part of what we lose with the insurance companies. They don't really care because it's not their money.
Well, it is. It's a third party paying my bills, if it's an insurance company or the government or employer group. And if I'm tapping into someone else's money and it's their pocket paying for it, I'm neither motivated to reduce the costs, and in most cases, I'm insulated from that cost. I don't even know about it. I don't see a bill. It goes somewhere else and gets paid. And so that's one of the major flaws in our current healthcare system, the third-party pay system.
Yeah, I mean, I remember because my dad, before insurance really got prevalent back in the 70s, my dad was talking about how here in Oklahoma, because he had actually had an accident with his younger brother who had broken his arm. And in 1973, it was about the year that I was born, he went and they did the x-rays, they did the cast, all of it was done for like $75. Like 10 years later, he broke the same bone, same person. And by the time they were done, hospital bills were paid, everything else, they were out of pocket almost $3,500 in the 80s. And by then it was because insurance had really kind of caught on and become this thing, and nobody really thought about what they were paying for it anymore because who cares? The insurance company's going to take care of it. And that, to me, that was when we started really losing control of our healthcare. And again, I think that's another way that you guys have kind of wrestled control back, because you guys are keeping up with what's going on. You're fighting for the folks that are contributing money, because it's not only their money, but it's your money too. And I think that's another thing that sets you guys apart from everybody else. Now, at this point, we are about to have to take another really quick break here in just a minute. Man, this whole show is kind of pretty much flown by already. On the way out, why don't you make sure that you make sure folks know where to find you, because they hear me give out your website about 3 or 4 times a show. They're probably tired of hearing me say it.
Well, it's libertyhealthshare.org, libertyhealthshare.org. When you go to the website, there's a place to ask for a free information packet. We call it a decision guide that gets delivered electronically to your email, or it can be sent by mail if you prefer. There's a toll-free number to call our contact center, speak to one of our trusted advisors, get all your questions answered about healthcare sharing, because it is a mindset change. It's a paradigm shift, or peruse the pages of the website. But it's libertyhealthshare.org. That's the best place to go.
All right. Well, sir, it has been my pleasure having you on here again on America Off the Rails. Hopefully we can get this set up again pretty quick. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have to take a really quick break because we got to pay some more bills. When we come back, we're going to lead off with Mailbag, that segment that I like to talk about where everybody tells me how much they don't like me. Fun times. We'll be back here in just about 4 minutes. Stay tuned.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
All right, folks, welcome back. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed the interview with Dale. Now, at this point, we're going to go ahead and continue with the show. That interview did go longer than anticipated, because I usually try to let the guest talk, but, I got a little long-winded that time. So we didn't really cut into as much of his time, because normally we hold him for about 20 minutes. This time we got closer to a half an hour, because I actually cut off some of his time. But as promised, now that we have the house back to ourselves again, let's do some mail call, shall we? As soon as I can get my computer to cooperate with me. Yay! All right, here we go.
Mail time. Mail time. Mail time. Mail time. The mail's here.
All right, so it's Mailbag. We used to do this on Thursdays, but now we have a guest commentator who'll be joining us on Thursday nights. So we're going to probably, I'm not sure if we're going to keep it on Wednesdays or if I might just move it to Monday, because what I may do is kind of compile things for the week and then come back at the opening of the week and talk about the fun mail from the week before. But for this week, we're just going to go ahead, because it's been a bit since we've done this, so we're going to do, because I've got 3 or 4 here. The first one is actually from, believe it or not, his name's Richard, out of Philadelphia. No, it's not me. I'm not talking about myself. Some of you will think that's funny, but some of you will have carry on. Richard from Philadelphia calls me a race traitor, says that I am a traitor to the white race because I did not vote for Donald Trump and that I deserve to burn in hell. Richard, do me a favor, save me a seat and shine it up real nice, okay, brother? Because I'm sure you'll probably get there before I will. We also have Dave from, let's see, where does it say Dave is again? Tuscaloosa? Wow. That's like, isn't that like, yeah, that's Alabama, right? So we got one in Philly, one in Alabama, and Dave in Alabama kind of sounds a little bit like the Philly dude over here. Basically, again, mad at me because I didn't vote for Donald Trump, wants to know how I can call myself a conservative, says he's listened to my show for 30 seconds and then turned it off, but yet he took the time to send me an email to tell me how much I suck. So, thanks, Dave. Appreciate it, man. Then we have some folks on Twitter. Not really going to mention any of the names on Twitter because sometimes they're confusing. And I've also come to notice that some of these people are apparently being outed as Russian trolls. So I don't necessarily want to give anybody any credit. But I have been called all kinds of names on Twitter over the last 2 weeks. One person basically told me that I deserve to die in a fire in a direct message that I got from them, and then they unfollowed me shortly thereafter. Usually what I do, though, is I'll grab screen captures of the stuff that I know that could go away so I can use it later. So, yeah, it was basically, I should die in a fire and they wouldn't pee on me to put me out because, again, didn't vote for Trump. Then we had one from a Hillary supporter who got mad at me for making fun of Hillary. I guess they saw the little GIF. Now, I didn't make the GIF, but it has anybody remember Tales from the Crypt, the little Crypt Keeper dude from HBO? Has him wearing like an Uncle Sam outfit. So anytime anybody starts talking about Hillary Clinton and trying to run again, I always put that out as breaking hidden video of Hillary Clinton's 2020 run for president first campaign video. I got some hate mail off of that one. This one's from a Hillary supporter who basically told me that I'm a worthless excuse for a human being, and the fact that I could support this dotard as president proves that I don't deserve to still be breathing. Now, dotard, for those of you who haven't been keeping up with the little play-along at home game, that's the word that the mental midget of the North dusted off to insult President Trump. Yeah, this guy. I'm so lonely. So the left have picked it up, run with it, and anytime they can, they throw it right back in President Trump's face. Now, never mind the fact that they're using they're using a term for someone that they consider a fascist that was actually mentioned by someone who is allowing his own people to eat themselves to stay alive. But Donald Trump is the worst president ever. And all of Twitter has been like that all day today. So on top of everything else that's going on, we now have all of this new stuff that's coming out about the Russia mess. And apparently there have been things that the FBI have known about all along as far as possible collusion with Russia and this, that, and the other. But guess what? It doesn't appear that it had that much to do with the Trump campaign after all. Seems like the Obama presidency and especially the Clinton Secretary of State office and the other parts of the Obama administration had their fingerprints all over it, though, which I find really, really amazing considering everybody has been trying for months to make this stick to Donald Trump. And, and then there was an interesting Twitter exchange about that. Some of it is not fit for radio, so I will not say all of it. But, Two Cynic Al, who is actually a host here, also one half of the crew for the Third Row Ramblers, pointed out that, the Russian thing is probably about to go away because he didn't think that they really ever expected this investigation to go as deep or as wide as it did. And now they're just going to try to be like, yeah, nothing is here, folks, move along. And then, of course, me being me was like, wait, you just said deep and wide referring to Hillary. Nope. The rest of that conversation, I will leave you to go find for yourselves. We've got one last break to get out of the way. Speaking of which, if you are not following me on Twitter yet, what the hell's the matter with you? Just kidding. It doesn't matter. Don't get me wrong. I want you to follow me. I like to interact with you guys there. Twitter is one of the places that I spend most of my time on social media. It's also one of the places I'm most active. So if you want to follow along, you can follow along at AOTR_host. We're going to take a really quick break, then we've got just about enough time to wrap up the show for the night. Want to thank again my very special guest, Dale Bellis, for hanging out with us for most of the show. And reminder, we will have a very special guest commentator who will actually do a returning show segment here on Thursdays. I'm pretty sure we're going to have him for the whole show, but, who knows? He may, decide to bail at the half-hour mark. Would you want to hang out with me for a whole hour? I'm just saying. Anyway, we'll be right back here in about 3 minutes. Stay tuned.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods in no
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
All right, folks. Well, in case you didn't notice, this was actually a Memorex version of the show. Hope you guys have enjoyed the interview I did originally with Dale Bellis when we first signed with Liberty Healthshare. I'll be back with you live tomorrow night. I've just been dealing with some technical issues behind the scenes and getting a few things squared away. I had to cut this one a little bit short. We've got the Conservative Curmudgeon Show coming up right about now on KLRNradio.com, followed by Jesse's POV to round out the night. I'll be back with you guys here in just a second, but I'll be behind the scenes pressing buttons, so we'll see you guys in just a bit.
To the spotlight fades, I will lift your banner high. I will lift your banner high. Into the world.